This is video 11, Major Scale Positions, Learning the Fretboard, Part 1, 7 basic positions and the 3 note per string positions. So how do we learn the fretboard? What are some simple strategies for learning the fretboard? Well, the most simplest one is to learn them in each key. There's 12 keys, 12 sounding keys anyway. So one thing you can do is you can get some graph paper and draw out some fretboards. Then write in the letter note names on each string. You can do this sitting in your living room, at the library, wherever you can, right? If you have free time, just pull out that pad of graph paper and write it out. Another thing you can do is you can actually have pre-made little pictures of fretboards on a standard U.S. mail sheet, whatever it's called, 8 by 11, and write them out that way too. You should do it over and over again until it gets really, really boring. So a crazy number would be each key write out 100 times, the entire fretboard. So you start out on the key of C. This is going to be F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, and then you just continue all the way up until you finish there at the 24th fret. Okay? And you do that for each string. You're physically writing it out with a pencil. Another thing you can do is you can take some staff paper and notate each note on each staff, right? Like you can notate the whole, like let's say we can pick the F string here. You can write out each one of these notes on a piece of staff paper, right? And so you're looking at the note. And then what you'll do is you look down at your guitar. So let's say if it's this, the first note there, F, you would look down at your guitar and mentally project a picture of what that note looks like, right? It's going to be on the fifth line there, right, of the staff, and you're going to mentally project it onto your fretboard and hold it there for 3 to 5 seconds each. If you were to do this for each key, well, you would be killer, man. Like you would definitely know the fretboard inside and out. If you do not want to do this, try to at least do it for the key of C at least a couple of times. You're going to notice some really major benefits later on when it comes when you need to read and things like that. But just that simple act of concentration is very beneficial for you. So those are 2 ways you can do it away from the fretboard. But also, when you do that visualization one, you can do it with the guitar in your hand or without the guitar in your hand. Either way, it doesn't matter as long as you project that note onto the guitar neck. So those are 2 ways of doing it, and try to give that a shot. Okay, so now that you've got those 2 strategies that help you begin to become more and more aware of the fretboard. And again, I stress to do it in each key, those 2 methods if you can. Now, how can we actually learn it physically as well? That's another way of looking at it. We talked about the 7 basic positions, and that's a way we can learn it in chunks physically on the fretboard. And but you have to schedule it. You have to say, well, what is it that I want to achieve? What are my learning outcomes? So if you look at it this way, you got 7 fingering positions for the 7 basic positions, and you got 7 days of the week, right? So each position, like in the key of F, right, they would each start out, each one of those notes is the start of position, right? And you've got 7 of them. So each day could be you could just concentrate on one position. So you do a different position each day of the week, and you repeat it for the whole month. So once you do one week, you just go back to the beginning again and you do it. Also, there are 12 sounding keys, right? And there's 12 months in a year, so each month could be a different key, right? So, January could be the key of C, February the key of F, and so on. You can use the cycle of fourths, to project what you want to do that year. Okay. So again, the way we practice it is like each position is we do it through repetition of ascending and descending with alternate picking, and that kind of demonstrated that with the animation stuff with the other videos. And that's a general way to do it. Different people have different approaches, and that's the most general way that I can think of. And in no way am I telling you that you have to do it this way with these particular fingering positions. Now, there's another set of fingerings that you can do, and like at the same time. So as you learn the 7 basic positions, you can learn these ones too, and these are called the 3-note per string positions. And there are 2 important points on why you should learn them. First, they're much easier and faster to play with the right hand, the picking hand, and they'll take you out of position and allow you to go up the fretboard, right? And I mean, there's other ways to move out of position, but this is sort of like the first basic way of doing it. So each 7 basic positions can be converted to a 3-note per string position quite easily. So we're going to start in the key of C, and I'm just going to show you how we do it. So again, once you know each of the 7 basic positions, it's very easy to convert them into the 3-note per string positions as well. And so once you know them, I can show you how you can link them in order to encompass the whole neck. All right? Okay. So for the key of C, the lowest position that we have is the 4th position. Okay? And that's what the basic position looks like from the 7 basic positions. So to convert this to a 3-note per string version, we just do this. So as you can see, each one of those strings has 3 notes on it. Okay? The fingering for each one of them is going to be like this. 1, 2, 4. 1. So all these are going to be 1s. All those are going to be 2s, 3s, and those last ones are going to be 4s. So it's 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4. So that's the fingering for this particular version. Okay. Let's go to the next one. This is the 5th position. Okay. And this is our conversion. That's it. Okay. And the fingering again will be like this. These are all going to be 1. These are all going to be 2. That's going to be a 3. And those are all going to be 4. 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3. Yeah. So that's the fingering for that one. And we just continue up the neck that way, and we do it for each one. Right? So that's That's from the 7 basic position one. So to convert it, that's what the 3-note per string version would be, right? I can leave the fingerings till later, but essentially you do that for each one. This is the 7th position, okay, and to convert this one, that's what it would look like, okay. This is the tonic position, or the first position. That's what you would do. Second position. Again, I'm just going through these really quickly, so you get an idea. Again, 3 notes per string. That's what it would look like. And you can see each one of them, they kind of move you out of position, right? This is the 3rd position. Okay. Boom. There you go. And then finally, we're back to the 4th position. It just repeats, and you just do it again, right? It's the same one that we used at the beginning. So that's how you convert the 7 basic positions into the 3 note per string positions. Okay, so now that you've seen how they were converted, right? Essentially, you're just turning them in the 3 note per string, right? You're putting 3 notes on each string. So how would you practice it to link it from one position going to the next position? So let's say I wanted to go from here, from this position, right, to the 5th position. So we can do that by using that 3 note per string version, right? So instead of thinking this one in its basic form, we think of it as a 3 note per string version. And so we play it like this, starting from the bottom here, going all the way to the top. And once we get to the top there at the B, now we actually can think about it descending like this and into the next basic position, which is the 5th position. To go from here to the next position is the same way, right? So we play it up the fretboard like this, and then we go back down in the standard position. Now we're in the 6th position, right? So we went from the 4th position starting here to the 5th, and now we're in the 6th. And you just keep going on that way, linking them up until you start to repeat it again, all right? I sort of call this the snake and ladders approach. Now, you don't have to do it exactly this way, all right? There's many ways to go from one position to the next, but this is like kind of like a really basic introduction to playing this way. So let's look at an example of just how we can start strengthening this 4th position, 3 note per string, going into the 5th position. And we can just sort of isolate those 2 positions and go back and forth. So let's look at a plain example of that. Okay, so as you saw, we went back and forth, just like a sort of like a seesaw, just to run the scales down and getting used to moving like that. Now you can apply that to each position. So from the fifth position, we're going to go from the fifth position to the sixth position using that fifth position 3-note per string. And we're going to do it the same way. So let's take a listen to that sample. So what we want to do now is we're in that sixth position, right? We ended up being here. So we're going to go through that, and we're going to use that 3-note per string version, okay? And we're going to go all the way up, and we're going to descend into the into the seventh position in the key of C. Let's take a sample. Let's see what it looks like. So now we're in the seventh position again. We're going to use the 3-note per string. We're going to go all the way, ascend all the way up into the tonic position, or the first position, and we're going to descend all the way down into the tonic position, which would be this one right here. Let's take a listen. Yep, so now we're in the tonic position. Again, it's the first position. And we're doing the same thing. Converting it, boom, going all the way up, ascending into the second position. And then we're going to go down, descending into the second position. We're just going to do the same thing. So from the second position, we're going to go all the way up. Oops. 3-note per string. And then we're going to descend into the third position in the key of C. Let's take a listen to that. This will be the final one, right? And we can actually say we've linked it all together. So this here is our third position. We use the 3-note per string one to ascend into the fourth position, and then we descend into the fourth position, and then we just repeat ourselves, right? So from the fourth, from here, we're going to go to the fifth, and so on. We can do it all the way up the neck, okay? So let's take a listen to that. So now that you've seen how we can do it from each one, and the first sample I show you how you sort of rock back and forth so you can get used to each linking, right? Each position to each other. The final thing you can do is, again, I referred to it earlier as the snake and ladders approach. Once you're familiar with all the different positions, linking it from one to the next, now you want to be able to do it from the start, from the fourth position down here, right? And this is obviously the first one's going to be 3-note per string version. You want to start there, go through each of the positions, ascending, descending, ascending, descending, until you end up at the descending into the fourth position again, all the way up. So you started here, right? And then you end up here. Now you can continue and go through the entire neck, but if you can do that and even descend back, that would be pretty cool too. And you can kind of say, well, I kind of know my C major scale. And then from there, you want to go and try to do that for each one of the major scales. Okay, so there you go. That's one way of learning the fretboard physically. It's rather complicated, but I think once you go through it a couple times, again, your end result is to be able to link everything like that. It'll really free up the fretboard for you, and it'll allow you to do some really cool stuff. Okay. In the next video, I'm going to show you some more practical ideas to this linking and what it actually means, like the outcome, like what's the whole outcome to this? And I'm going to show you some plain examples. Thanks.